Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives. Not just the latest episode. All free at gcnlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Everyone all set? Cocked? Locked? Here we go. This is USAPrepares.com. And if you'd like to call us, we'd be delighted to pay for the call. I've gotten some phone calls saying I'd like to call, but I don't know the number. So here's the number. 866-582-9933. 866-582-9933. We broadcast 2 hours, Monday through Friday, from 9 a.m. Central through 11 a.m. Central Time. John is engineering the broadcast at Genesis Communications in Minnesota. I'm Vincent Finelli, and hour number one is with Werner Bock. He is in New Brunswick, Canada. He's a farmer, and we're going to be talking about Farming 101. What does it take and what to think about if you want to join the ranks of us as a farmer? Welcome, Werner Bock.
Yeah, good morning, Vincent. And I guess nowadays, if you want to go into farming, you have to look around what the conditions are, what the market conditions are, and what the input costs are, what the risk is. And it's basically farming, especially when you want to make a full-time living, it becomes more and more a very risky enterprise.
Yes, it is a risky enterprise. Werner, I was talking with a fellow farmer. I have never met him, but he and I were on the phone yesterday afternoon. And so we were just chatting, and I said, so tell me about your farm, please. And he said, well, it's about 240 acres. It's been in the family for 5 generations. He has a young son who's in his, I guess he's about 30, and he wants to continue the farming. And he told me that in order to keep this farm operational and not lose the farm, he had to get a paper route. And so he's out there in his vehicle distributing papers. And what he meant by that was he got a job with the United States Postal Service, and he delivers mail part-time. So he's got this paper route going, through rural Missouri, handing out mail part-time, so he has enough income to not lose the farm. And so there are a lot of people who look at us as farmers and think, man, oh man, look at all that land, that equipment, look at all those cows. Man, $800, $1,000 a piece. There's 100 cows, $100,000. Boy, those guys are rolling in dough. And so we're here to tell you a little bit more about what farming is like. And there are tremendous risks that we are exposed to. And just one of them is the weather. Seriously, the weather I was talking with some of our instructors on the phone yesterday off the air, and they're seeing 20, 30, and 40 degree shifts in temperature in one day. And that's the difference. If it's freezing cold, you can lose your crop right then and there. It's rough on the cows. The cows eat, when it's 30 degrees out, our cows will eat twice as much hay as they'll eat when, let's say, it's 80 degrees or 70 degrees. So, there are burn rates, and a burn rate would be, how fast you're going through whatever it is that you've got, like supplies or money or or hay or whatever it is. So the burn rate is ever changing. It's difficult to count on the weather. Even if you look at the weather report, it still is. It's just a suggestion. It's not accurate. We can't. It's not as accurate as it used to be. That's for sure. And we can't use the Farmer's Almanac, which we used to be able to use. You could look at the Farmer's Almanac 6 months in advance and know what the temperature and the weather and the conditions would be like. So Werner, let's talk about what you just mentioned, and then there's, on top of that, then there's the climate, well, the neighborhood, if you want to call it that. You know, you just may move into an area that's a bunch of farmers who have been there for generations, and then you're the new guy on the block. And a lot of times, you might not be welcome, right?
Yeah, that's you have to find out the mechanics within the community. Who is running the show and what's their agenda? And I've said already years ago when some of my German neighbors moved in, they came from Germany and they wanted to go full out farming, and in the enterprises, the way they were used with a tightly organized society, and so they're in Germany. And I said, don't spend all your money, keep some in the kitty, you know, because there are so many more variables. Don't put yourself out completely naked financially. And you know that old joke, they asked this farmer who won in the lottery, he won, $1 or $2 million, and they asked him, what are you going to do? He said, I just keep on farming until the money is gone.
Well, that was kind of the discussion I had yesterday afternoon with my new farmer friend in western Missouri. He has to have a real job, at least one that he goes to work in order to pay the bills, so that he doesn't lose the farm. And
see, Vincent, there a few years ago, there was here, especially with some of the media, they were harping on the farmers and, made them responsible for whenever anything goes wrong in the food chain. And then they were harping about how much subsidies the farmers are swallowing up, how much taxpayers' money and everything. And I had a few times a battle with some of the reporters, and I said to them, if you know your basic math, it is not that you, the consumers, are subsidizing and the taxpayers are subsidizing the farmer. We are subsidizing you. When you got a mid-sized farm here, for example, dairy farm, you got over $1 million invested in until a few years ago. If you just put it in a bank, you could collect interest, and on the interest make a very comfortable living. But because you're farming, you have to take all the risk. And by the end of the year, you end up maybe with $30,000 above, in the black, you can call yourself lucky. I said, if that man would have put his money in long-term investment, $1 million in long-term investment, you could expect somewhere in the vicinity of $100,000 a year,
Yes.
And then you take on the sideline, you take a job, just not to be idle, you would end up with maybe $140,000 or $130,000 a year. But because you're farming, you're lucky if you end up with maybe $20,000 or $30,000 a year. And most of the farmers, they weren't even making that. So I said, you look at the basic facts and figures. Who is subsidizing who?
Well, you're right. And for many of us farmers, we can't leave the farm. I mean, you want to go on vacation for a couple weeks? Really? It's not possible. It's not possible because there are, if you have animals that depend on you, they need to be fed and watered and checked and made sure that, nobody's hurt. And if they are, you need to become a doctor for them. Seriously. And those are the kind of things that we as farmers do. And, you may think you just plant a couple cows and they walk around and, pretty soon you start out with 2 cows, and, male and female. And next thing you know, you have 3. And then the next thing you know, you have 4, 5, 6, 7. And everything's just great. But they get sick, they die, they get tangled up in things that they shouldn't. They get attacked by predators. There are a lot of things that can go wrong. And let's see. Greg in California, welcome.
Vincent?
You're on the air.
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air, Greg.
I heard you
Welcome.
talk about the weather, and I want to tell you about a cloud I saw on a little drive I took, and it was looked like an asterisk, like punctuation.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never seen that before. And that's about it, Vincent.
So you're saying that the weather is unpredictable? Is that what you're saying, Greg?
Well, I'm saying no. I'm really talking about non-condensing condensation trails that turn into silvery gray clouds that cover the sky.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff that Dr. Miller talks about, and what chemtrails is the popular name for it.
Oh, sure. We have them here all the time, and
everyone.
The planes fly over, and it's not like they're just picking on us; they're picking on everybody. These airplanes fly over us. They drop these chemicals, and then the chemicals feather out, and the whole sky from horizon to horizon gets gray and dusky. The sunlight is blocked out, and then they fly some more on top of that where you can't see them. It used to be that they tried to cover this up, and they'd fly early in the morning or late in the evening when people weren't paying attention. Now you can hear the planes, you can hear them flying, but they're flying just above the dusky sky that they've laid down, so you can't see them. But we've seen a new phenomenon as well, and that is we are seeing, when we can see them, when they're visible, we're seeing laser straight chemtrails. I mean, absolutely laser straight. It looks like these planes are flying by wire or flying by remote control. Greg, I appreciate your call. Thank you so much. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia?
It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market. The gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't take on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS.
If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-403-4885. That's 1-800-403-4885. 1-800-403-4885. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop, you save. Get full details in the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Destroy harmful bacteria, allergens, bed bugs, dust mites, fleas in your home with the Ladybug Steam Vapor System. The Ladybug dies deep on surfaces without any toxic residue. Traditional control agents contain toxic chemicals which do more harm than good. Sanitize and disinfect using just water. Quick, fast, and surprisingly easy.
Find out more now by calling 800-997-6584. Ask for Randy. That's 800-997-6584. Or go to advap.com/GCN. That's advap.com/GCN.
Class, Werner Bock's with us, and we're talking about Farming 101. And so let's say you decide you want to be a farmer. There are a lot of things that you need to think about, and we talked about the neighborhood, and we talked about the weather. You need to meet your neighbors, and before you go on this adventure, I would recommend that you spend a couple days meeting the neighbors and find out what their attitudes are, and that's what Mrs. Finelli and I did before we decided to put an offer on the farm that we have here. We met the neighbors. If you could call it that, we interviewed them. We introduced ourselves to them, told them about us and what we liked, what we didn't like, and our attitudes and opinions and ideas. And we wanted to make sure that we wouldn't be starting a war here. And Werner, have you done something similar to that?
Want to do if you come into, especially with me and some my fellow countrymen, when we come into a new country, we want to start off on a bad footing with the neighbors. That's the least. And I had been around there for about a month, and I looked around, and when I had the feeling that I was stepping intruding on somebody's territory or stepping on someone's toes, I did not want to do that, because start out in a new neighborhood, in a new country, already on a bad footing, But you don't find the intricacies about the dynamics of a community. You don't find it out in a couple of days, And what I've noticed around here in New Brunswick, and especially in eastern Canada, there's a certain part of the business community, they're like spiders in a web, waiting for another fly to come in and invest money, put money into the economy, so they can suck the lifeblood right out of it and take advantage of the newcomers, And
right.
On first sight, they might look like friendly people, but don't be fooled.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. And in Virginia, where we are from, they have a saying, and that's among the natives there. And that saying is, "Welcome to Virginia. We'll be glad to take your money." And I'm not kidding. They look forward to taking your money, and Well, when we were there were two prices. There were prices for the blue bloods, and those are the people who had ancestors who stole land from the Indians. They'd be the blue bloods. And then those who came after that, the damn Yankees, as they call them. The damn Yankees, well, Yankees are people who would go down to the South and visit and look around, spend a couple of weeks and some money and leave. Damn Yankees are people who go and do that and not leave. They'd stay there. And they call them damn Yankees. I'm not making this up, and I'm not using profanity. It's just that's what they called them, damn Yankees. And they wanted our money, but they wanted us to leave. And so if you decided that you were going to buy a place, then you found out later on that pretty much there were these clans, and people were related. So everybody was related to a whole bunch of other people in their tribe or their clan, except you and me, right? Isn't that the way it was?
Yeah, that's it took me a long while to catch on to, and then finally, when some wanted to explain some of the so-called misfortunes I've encountered here, that weren't misfortunes, that were fabricated, I was being told, oh, you fellas, you shouldn't be able to come here and buy a farm. You should be working for us. And then the next argument was, the land was granted to our forefathers and their descendants for all time. You know, the old original grants, land grants, after it had been taken away from the native people.
Yep.
And, but anyway, that didn't fly with me, And then they came, every 50 years in the Bible, there's, especially in the southern part of the state, the Bible Belt, every 50 years was a year of Jubilee, where the properties would be given back to the original families. And I found that and I said, if you want those kind of laws, put them on the books, but don't sucker us newcomers in.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Werner Bock's with us. He's a farmer. He's in New Brunswick, Canada. I'm here in Missouri. We'll be right back.
By now, you know the smart way to buy emergency food storage is calories per dollar. Ready Supply Foods sells you 50% more food for your money. GMO-free, 25-year shelf life, great tasting, and free shipping. You need 2,000 calories per day under ideal conditions. Most 30-day kits don't have enough calories to sustain you for more than a week. They just don't have enough nutrition to do the job. See the comparisons for yourself at ReadySupplyFoods.com. We are the new leader in value and quality. Go to ReadySupplyFoods.com today.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At ContractorExam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, ContractorExam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.ContractorExam.com today.
Are you still looking for that one iodine that you can really trust? A medical doctor endorsed product that is backed by honest research and true integrative science? Then search no further. Go to NutriMedical.com for Dr. Bill Deagle's Nutriodine, proven time and time again to be the very best iodine available for you. Nutriodine is the only Tesla-activated monatomic plasma iodine in the world. It optimizes mitochondrial function and generation of new mitochondria, from totally neutralizing the venom from a desert recluse spider bite in Southern California to eliminating malaria parasites reported by medical missionaries in central India. Dr. Bill's Nutriodine is simply the most powerful healing formula there is. Nutriodine clears the body of all known pathogens, restores it to an alkaline state, and even promotes stem cell regeneration. Order Dr. Bill's Nutriodine today at 888-212-8871 or visit us online at NutriMedical.com.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
My computer is so slow, it's making me crazy.
I used to have that problem.
Did you quit using the computer, or did you buy a new one?
No, I called Geeks On Site. They made an appointment to visit my home and showed up the same day.
You mean they didn't ask you to bring your computer to a shop? That's what happened when I called a support company.
Geeks On Site can go to your home or business or even repair your computer online. They have 24/7 emergency service.
If you are having problems with your PC or Mac, call Geeks On Site, 1-800-591-1682. Our friendly certified computer repair experts are available 24/7. Call now for a free diagnosis, 1-800-591-1682. Data recovery, virus removal, and maintenance for all laptops, desktops, printers, and networks. That's Geeks On Site for friendly certified computer repair experts, available 24/7 over the phone or in your home or business. Just call 1-800-591-1682. That's 1-800-591-1682, 1-800-591-1682.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states.
Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
What would your life be like if you woke up each morning with new vitality, feeling better than you have in years, and you noticed a difference in your sleeping patterns, blood sugar levels, and had a sense of well-being overall? There's something that is changing thousands of people's lives, and you could be one of them. It's called Heart and Body Extract. Sharon Harris, co-creator of Heart and Body Extract, talks about the positive effects of Heart and Body Extract.
What happens with the formula Heart and Body Extract is it's giving the body the necessary vitamins, minerals, amino acids, enzymes, and phytonutrients so the body will heal itself. And yes, the body does have the ability to balance blood pressure, balance cholesterol, clean and unclog the arteries. It can also work on balancing the circulation for diabetics. So the body is an amazing thing. It simply needs some help, so it has the tools to heal itself.
Heart and Body Extract gets results. To order your 2-month supply, call now, toll free at 866-295-5305. Order online at hbextract.com.
Les Werner Bock is with us. And Werner, let's take a few minutes and talk about the location. How do we determine, aside from the political environment, aside from the clans and the tribes that are already there, how do we determine what the land should be like? What do we look for?
Well, we should look for soil that's not completely exploited.
Mm-hmm.
And there is another aspect that comes into play. This is what I've noticed here in eastern Canada, here in New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, and same situation in some of the New England states like Maine. Nobody wants to touch that issue, and that is illegal dumping of vegetation-controlled chemicals on farmland for at least the last 70 years with the knowledge of the government in order to accomplish the structural reforming of agriculture. That in the end, there are just only big farms left, basically under the motto, you either farm the Monsanto way or we don't want you in here. And here it comes about the conflict of interest of those decision makers in government, their pension fund, their private investment portfolio. They don't have any investment in the family farm. They don't hold any shares in the family farm, but they hold shares in those big multinational, the chemical companies, and as I say, like Monsanto and Syngenta and so on.
Mm-hmm.
So when we think that they are looking out for us, not just only the farmers, but the average consumer, we are fooling ourselves. We are greatly fooling ourselves. And when I look at the track record here about the government agencies that are supposed to be assisting the farmers, to become more efficient and to farm better, with 70 years of their efforts, of the expert efforts, they have brought on a situation where those regions that at one time were self-sufficient in food production, that were producing a healthy food, and that were even exporting food here to the cities on the eastern seaboard, those regions, they are 90% and more dependent on their food supply from outside sources. They are less than 10% self-sufficient in food production. So much for the expertise, that is being provided to us by the government. And about those GMO crops and all this, and the chemicals and glyphosate and all those chemicals that are being used and are building up in the soil, that are building up in the groundwater supply, and so on, the jury is still out. But now there are already, many of the so-called experts, they are jumping the ship, and they realize that they have been basically promoting a big ship that is rapidly sinking now. Mm-hmm. And now they blow the whistle on those conditions that have been created, on the chemical way of farming, and all the setbacks and the dangers that are lurking.
Werner, when I first started farming, I'm a first-generation farmer, and naturally you learn about these government offices in every county in the United States. There's the soil and water conservation district offices, and typically they are paired with the U.S. Department of Agriculture employees. And what a new farmer would do, and that's what I did, I called those guys up and I said, so, I'm interested in farming, and what are the best practices that I can employ here on our farm? What is the best way to fence the farm? What are the best grasses to plant and grow? What are the most hardy? What have the most protein and nutrition for cows? What are the best cows to raise here? Which ones seem to be hardy? Which ones do well for resale, and so forth? So you want to know what is the ultimate, the optimum situation that you can employ and deploy at your farm. So what's the best way to use this land? What's the best way to improve the pH, the soil, so forth? What is the best way? So you call these guys up, and they show up, and you think they're actually there to help you. You think that they're going to say, well, I'll tell you what, Mr. Finelli, in this neck of the woods, this breed of cows is the best way to go. They sell the best. And on this hill, I suggest you put a pasture in here. Over here, you raise hay. Your pH, I can tell just by looking at it that it needs lime, or if you were to put some chicken manure or goat manure or sheep manure or some kind of amendment to the soil, this would be the best way to go. And those woods over there, if you just get those saplings out of there, you'll be all set, and we're here to help you. That's not the case. That is not the case. Those guys, yes, go ahead.
Vincent, a few years ago, they got an organization here, Soil and Crop Improvement Association. It's basically sponsored by the government, and I attended one of their annual meetings and lecture at the Memram Cook Institute. And basically, what the fellows from the so-called experts from the Department of Agriculture, they want to go full steam into all that chemical farming, and some of the chemicals that were supposed to be applied, they had been outlawed already a couple of years earlier in Europe because of health concerns. And before you could grow a field of grain with minimum chemical impact and with good tilling practices and crop rotation, you can produce a healthy crop. They advocated up to 7 times spraying with all kinds of chemicals. And I just stood up and I said, listen, it would be a lot cheaper for the taxpayers if you fellows there, you experts from the Department of Agriculture, would get fired and get hired on as sales reps for the chemical industry.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. And what I learned, Werner, what I learned is they said, we have a program that will really help you. And this was in Virginia. And the program was, what we can do is we can put some cattle waterers in there. And these are concrete, think of them like, these concrete boxes that the cows can stick their heads in. And it's kind of like a float valve, kind of like a toilet tank where there's an automatic leveling system that if you supply water to these waterers, the water level for the cows will be automatically maintained. Now all you need to do is have some plumbing to take water over to the cattle waterers, and you need to have a well, and you need to have electricity to power the well. And then they'll pay, at the time they would pay for 90%. So only 10% would be paid for by the farmer, and 90% would be paid for by the Soil and Water Conservation District and the U.S. Department of Agriculture. So they would drill a well, they would put in fencing, and they'd put in the cattle waterers. Well, they would give you the money and you would contract that out. And for the next 10 years, they could come on your farm anytime they want, 24 hours a day. But what they wanted was they wanted to fence the cows out of the woods, they wanted to fence the cows out of the streams, and they wanted to fence the cows out of some ponds. And by the time, and so I said, okay, so I'd like to see your plan. I was naive at the time. And by the time they were done cutting up our farm and keeping the cows out of the woods and out of the streams and so forth, I had no farm left. Literally, I had maybe half the farm left.
Vincent,
and
3 years ago, or 2.5 years ago, here the Brunswick Department of the Environment, they wanted to declare wetland areas, and it basically worked out that about 20% of all the farmland was supposed to be declared wetland. And the map they had laid out, some of the driest places on the farm, those experts had declared wetland, And as I say, government, they go ahead, they do whatever they can do if we, the people, let them get away with it. And I threw them at one of the public meetings, I threw them a few monkey wrenches in and embarrassed them, about some facts. And they had planned several more meetings, public hearings across the province, and 3 days later they announced that they shelved the whole program.
That's great. Now, in the case of our farm in Virginia, we said, there's no way we're going to do this. There's absolutely no way we're going to take their money and cut up our farm and turn it into a piece of ground that's unusable.
And Vincent, there's something else there. At one time, when the farmers and ranchers, when they were farming in the ranch in the traditional way, and before, when the buffaloes were home in North America, they were going down to the river and drinking, they were going to the ponds and drinking. And the ecosystem was healthy. There were plenty of fish in the rivers, and in the lakes and so on. And ever since, the more the experts take over, what is left in wildlife, what is left in the fish population in the rivers and so on. And they completely ignore the big elephant in the room, and that is the chemical pollution that is being caused. And how many of the big cities, where their sewage goes untreated right into open water systems, into rivers and into lakes, and then here in Saskatchewan a few years ago, they did some boondoggles, they let the sewage into the river, and 2 kilometers further down in the river, they took out their drinking water, and to treat it and then have the people drinking that water. And this is what those so-called experts, one hand doesn't know what the other hand is doing. They got this bunch of specialized idiots, who can put the whole picture together, and everybody, is jealously basically defending their soapbox.
Werner, sometimes I wonder if these government employees are given an IQ test. And anyone who passes, they don't hire. They don't hire anyone who's really, really bright that I know of. They really don't.
There's one condition that's rapidly spreading.
Hold that thought. We're going into a commercial break. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
Worried about lead, fluoride, and other contaminants in your drinking water? Get a ProPure with the Pro 1G 2.0 cleanable reusable filter and remove up to 200 contaminants. Drink water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of ProPure products, including the new ProMax shower filter. There's a ProPure for you. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer for details or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com or 800-544-3533.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
Remember Pearl Harbor. Now you can buy, for the first time ever, the 75th anniversary Pearl Harbor legal tender solid gold coin from the U.S. Money Reserve. Call 1-800-329-6700 right now or go online to usmoneyreserve.com. 1-800-329-6700.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $7.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees, ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Are you looking to sell body armor? Want to make extra money selling body armor at your local gun shows? With low minimum buys and great returns, KD Armor is the answer. Make money in your spare time. It's American-made body armor with the quickest turnaround in the industry, which means you get your product when you need it at very competitive rates. And they'll ship it to you for free. If you own a business, give them a call today at 855-488-KD. That's 855-488-2284. Or go to kdarmor.com. Come and take it.
Class Werner Bock is with us, and he's in New Brunswick, Canada. And we're talking about some of the things you might want to think about if you decide to become a farmer. And one of the things that we talked about was one of my farmer friends who has a job on a paper route, delivering mail, delivers mail in order to be able to pay the bills and keep the farm running. And it was a large farm. It was a large tobacco farm, one of the largest tobacco farms in the county where he farms. So there's a tobacco farmer who had trouble paying the bills. Can you imagine that? A tobacco farmer having trouble paying the bills. And that's because the government's involved in tobacco. As a matter of fact, I had a tobacco farm. I didn't raise tobacco. I just happened to buy a farm that did raise tobacco, and there's an allotment. You can't just grow as much tobacco as you want. No, the government's all over that. They will tell you how much you can and cannot grow in the United States of America. So I've never grown tobacco, but I bought a farm that did grow tobacco. And the government wanted me out of the business. And literally they said, we'll pay you to just go away. And I'm not kidding. Werner Bock, you were going to say something just as we're going into the break.
Vincent, I said a kind of a tongue-in-cheek a few years ago. There's one condition that's rapidly spreading all among the so-called experts in the population, and that is, as I say, tongue-in-cheek, CSDS, common sense deficiency syndrome.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what the soil and water conservation guys are looking for in the USDA. They want to know where your water wells are. They want to know where the wells are. And they want to know how deep the well is, and they want to know how high the water column is in the wells. They want to map them and put them in their databases, and they are searching them out. And, so if you let them on their farm and they find it, they're going to map it. Yes?
And so in the end, they can sell the resource. Water is one of the most important resources. They can sell it out to Nestle and all those other financial predators.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was at a meeting, and I was listening to a farmer, kind of a side conversation. And he said, here's what some farmers are doing. They are literally taking some old well pipe, and they're drilling a hole into the ground, maybe a few feet, maybe 6 feet down. They put a piece of old well pipe in there, and then they fill that well pipe with concrete. And they put an old well cap on it, and they put that near the well that actually exists. And then they camouflage the real well, so that when these government thugs come over and they look for the well, they see that, it's been capped off, it's been filled with concrete properly and sealed. They go, okay, well, I guess we'll take that one off the list, because that well is no longer viable and it's been sealed, so that's not a well. That's what some farmers are doing to protect their own property from these government minions.
What did they do there in Northern California with this river system? They blew up all the dams, where the farmers stored some of the water for irrigating their fields.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And basically, here comes the other question in. Who gave the federal government the mandate over state land? Who gave them the mandate? They just took it the same way as with the ranches there, Bundy Ranch and up there in Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing some grandstanding and throw their weight around, and basically run roughshod right over the people. I remember in the old country, there is a law when you have used a resource for such a long time, over so many years, then you have control over the law. They call it nectar. This should be explored by some of the people that are being victimized by those high-handed government action.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and it was farmers that formed this country,
and
it just may be farmers that take it back. Werner Bock, thank you so much for being with us today. Werner Bock.
Vincent, may I please say something? Okay.
Well, we're out of time.
Vincent, there's one ardent fighter. She's in basically in Russia.
How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
75 years ago, America suffered one of the worst moments in American history, the attack on Pearl Harbor. Now you can remember December 7th, 1941, with the purchase of the first ever 75th anniversary Pearl Harbor legal tender solid gold coin from the U.S. Money Reserve. Call 1-800-490-3200 right now for the official 75th anniversary Pearl Harbor legal tender gold coin from the U.S. Money Reserve, the only company authorized to distribute these 100% solid gold coins. Remember Pearl Harbor with this limited official gold release. 1-800-490-3200 or online at usmoneyreserve.com.
Everyone all set? Cocked? Locked? Hour number 2 of USAPrepares.com. I'm delighted to introduce your newest instructor. His name is TomTracey, and we're going to be spending the next hour talking about herbal remedies. The broadcast is Herbal Remedies 101. So in this hour, we'll be talking about detoxification. We'll be talking about herbs that you should have on hand. We'll be talking about parasites. We'll be talking about, and even how long do herbs last? And so I'm delighted to be spending this hour with you and TomTracey. Welcome, TomTracey.
Good morning, Vince. Nice talking to you.
Good morning, Tom. You know, I said to our engineer, John at GCN, I said, we're introducing a new instructor today, and we're going to be talking about herbal remedies. Do you have any questions that you'd like to ask? And he said, I do. I really do. And it is one that I'm sure that most of those in class today would like to know the answer to. And let me just describe the scenario. So I moved from Virginia to Missouri, and we had herbs and spices, dried herbs in our kitchen cabinet. Oh, maybe 10 years, maybe even longer. And then, of course, when we moved to Missouri, we packed them up, and here they are. So they might be 10 years old. They might be 18 years old in Virginia, and then plus 10, 28 years old. So we may have herbs that have been with us for a very long time. So the questions are, do herbs have a life expectancy or a shelf life, at which point they are absolutely worthless, or do they change and become detrimental to our health, or what? Or do they
here's the deal, Vince. Herbs their vital force and energy and effectiveness will erode over time. Now, you have roots, barks, leaves, and flowers, and things like lichens. Leaves generally will last 1, maybe 2 years, no more than 3. And that's if you have them dried and packaged up correctly. Now, roots can go a lot longer, maybe 3, 5, 7, 8 years, maybe. Same with barks. Flowers, 1 year, maybe 2 max. Now, if you want to extend the use of your herbs, that's when you want to start tincturing them up. Because once they're tinctured, then they'll keep for 20, 30 years in alcohol. Vodka don't go bad. So your herbs are probably not very good. Probably.
So I've got newfound room in the kitchen cabinet.
Right.
Okay. And is there a way that we should store some herbs, or store our herbs that? Do they need to be in the dark? Do they need to be at a constant temperature?
What is the best way? It's just common sense. I would dry them and put them in a brown paper bag. And then put them in a cool, dark place. They'll keep a long time. What ruins herbs is heat, moisture, bugs. And then eventually they age away. And some herbs go fast, and others will last a lot longer.
Now, one thing I've noticed, we have not had any bugs appear in any of our containers of herbs and spices. If let's say you go to the grocery store or Sam's Club and you buy containers of spices and herbs, are they treated to prevent bugs from growing?
I think so. I really don't buy too much commercial type stuff. I'm what you would call a wild crafter. I'm here in western Montana. It's heavily forested, lots of water, clean air, and all that. And I go out in the woods at least twice a week during the summer, and I gather what I need. I know what the vital force and energy and how clean they are. Now, a lot of times you buy these things from wholesalers, and sometimes it's crap. As an example, I have to sometimes buy red clover blossoms, say from Star West or from some of these other wholesalers. The first thing I do is I open it up, see what it looks like. Well, my God, it's all brown and burnt and everything. It's absolutely worthless, and they're charging me like $30 a pound wholesale. So I have to send that stuff back. And that's a problem with a lot of stuff that's out there. A lot of health food stores, they'll buy herbs and stuff, put it in their jars, and it looks all nice and good, but it might be there for 10 years. If anyone, if you know how to work a pendulum, do a pendulum test. Fairly easy to learn how to do, but you can test your herbs. Are they viable? Yes or no? You ever work a pendulum, Vince?
No, well, I've used a pendulum certainly in science class, in elementary school, but I'm not sure I understand this test you're talking about.
Yeah, well, you find out what is a yes answer and what is a no answer. If it swings this way, one way, for you that would be yes. If it swings that way, it would be no. So it's a mental thing, and you're plugging into the subconscious, and then you're finding out, and you're measuring your herb by holding it to, let's say, to your solar plexus, or just put your hand over it. Pretty simple system once you learn how to do it. Not hard to learn. I also use radionics to test my stuff.
Let's talk about that.
Put the material on a radionics device and measure its vital force. If it doesn't come up to where I need it, like most health food stores, let's just say vital force might be 150 to 200 units of energy, per whatever, for that herb. Well, my herbs have to be minimum 300. Mm-hmm. And when I go out in the woods and get them, they're usually 300 and up. And then I dry them correctly away, clean them up, dry them, process them, store them away correctly, and then usually once or twice a month I make tinctures. We make tinctures on the new moon, and we strain our tinctures on the full moon. It's an old practice that gardeners use. It gives you a little bit of edge on the potency of your tinctures.
Let's talk about making some tinctures.
Okay, I got a real
so
simple system.
Let's build one right here. Let's talk about what it will do, and then how we make it.
Okay, you got let's just work with burdock. Burdock is a real important herb to have around. It supports the liver, supports the kidneys. It's a nutrient for the pituitary gland. But what you want to do is you can either make it with a fresh herb or a dried herb. But let's just say we're using dried herb, and you want to have, let's say you want to have a quart jar. So 1/3 of that quart jar you pour in your herb, dried herb, 1/3. Then you're going to get some Everclear or vodka, and you're going to pour that to maybe an inch above where the herb's at. Then you got a little bit more space in that jar, and then you want to put some purified water. And then you want maybe an inch from the top of the jar to the lid, because you're going to want to shake it maybe once a day. And after about 2 weeks, then you can strain it, and then you can bottle it. And that'll keep a long, long, long time. And with a tincture, then you can administer various doses. For instance, a 5-year-old may only take 5 drops, but a 300-pound man may need to have 200 drops of tincture 3 or 4 times a day.
And when you consume a tincture, are there methods that are better than other, like under the tongue, those kinds of things?
Yeah, but you can do whatever you want. Some people like to take it sublingually. Personally, I like to have a little tiny Dixie cup, 1/3 a little warm water, and then I put all the herbs in there, measure them all out, put them in there. It takes about 2 or 3 minutes in the morning, and then I pound it. Some people can't get the taste of the stuff, so maybe you could use a little juice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yeah, I know some individuals who have tried vitamins, mineral supplements, and some of the expressions are, "This tastes terrible. I can't do this." And I don't understand that. I literally do not understand why a person would say, I don't like the taste of it, so I'm not gonna take this supplement because I don't like the taste of it. To me, the taste of a supplement is irrelevant.
Correct.
Irrelevant. If it is something that your body needs, whether you like the taste of it, whether it tastes like strawberry or vanilla or chocolate, is irrelevant.
Vince, for years, I tried to make tinctures and combinations taste good because of the whiny factor. Now that I'm 71, I don't give a crap. Matter of fact, I go out of my way to make it taste like crap. And I don't have to work at it either.
I remember a commercial that I only heard a couple times on the radio, and it was about these cough drops, and it was a small company, not a major cough drop manufacturer or candy manufacturer. And this guy did his own commercial, and he said, whatever the cough drop was, they taste awful and they work. That's
pretty much a true thing there with herbs and stuff. There are very few that actually taste good. There's a few out there that taste fairly good and they're good for food and stuff. One is chickweed. That tastes good. High in vitamin C and vitamin A and minerals and stuff. Really good for you. It's a refrigerant, it's cooling to the body. You can add it to salads and soups. There's several that are like that, but most of them taste crappy.
Mm-hmm. Well, I had many years ago, I had an irregular heartbeat. Mm-hmm. And I ended up in the emergency room. And the doctor said, "Well, you've got a stress problem." I said, "Are you kidding? A stress problem? I don't even have a job." I don't have a job. I'm a farmer. I do what I want, when I want, if I want. And, no one's telling me what to do, so it's not like I have stress. And he said, "Well, you need to take this anti-anxiety medication." No way. No way. So I made a tincture. I'll tell you about it, and I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. Did I do it right? And we'll use this as an example of
Okay.
Maybe the right way, maybe the wrong way, and what the effects were. We'll be right back.
Okie doke.
Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now, with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
Suffering from illness or disease? Frequently in pain? Overstressed? Always tired? The solution is to oxygenate your cells because disease cannot survive in an oxygen-rich environment. Introducing Vital Ion, the first mineralized edible oxygen in the world. Go to toolsforfreedom.com and get the Miracle of Oxygenation DVD free with any Vital Ion purchase. Call 800-770-8802. That's 800-770-8802. Let Vital Ion edible oxygen be your daily fountain of youth.
What would your life be like if you woke up each morning with new vitality, feeling better than you have in years, and you noticed a difference in your sleeping patterns, blood sugar levels, and had a sense of well-being overall? There's something that is changing thousands of people's lives, and you could be one of them. It's called Heart and Body Extract. Sharon Harris, co-creator of Heart and Body Extract, talks about the positive effects of Heart and Body Extract.
What happens with the formula Heart and Body Extract is it's giving the body the necessary vitamins, minerals, amino acids, enzymes, and phytonutrients so the body will heal itself. And yes, the body does have the ability to balance blood pressure, balance cholesterol, clean and unclog the arteries. It can also work on balancing the circulation for diabetics. So the body is an amazing thing. It simply needs some help, so it has the tools to heal itself.
Heart and Body Extract gets results. To order your 2-month supply, call now, toll-free at 866-295-5305. Order online at hbextract.com.
Destroy harmful bacteria, allergens, bed bugs, dust mites, fleas in your home with the Ladybug Steam Vapor System. The Ladybug dies deep on surfaces without any toxic residue. Traditional control agents contain toxic chemicals which do more harm than good. Sanitize and disinfect using just water. Quick, fast, and surprisingly easy.
Find out more now by calling 800-997-6584. Ask for Randy. That's 800-997-6584. Or go to advap.com/GCN. That's advap.com/GCN.
Class, TomTracey's with us, and his company is Swan Valley Herbs. I'm going to give you his phone number, and during the commercial break, I requested a copy of the catalog. So if you'd like to get a free copy, as I've just ordered for me, you can request one as well. And here's the telephone number to call, 406-837-5747, 406-837-5747. That's TomTracey at Swan Valley Herbs. And he'll be glad to send you a free copy of the catalog. And there's no website?
No website. No, I'm old school, Vince. Old school.
Well, yeah, and no cell phone, right?
No cell phone. I don't do email. I don't do any of that stuff. Hey, once I'm done working, I'm gone. You can't find me.
And isn't that delightful? It really is. And after the broadcast,
it's to survive. My wife is on it. If not, there'll be people stashed out of my place around the clock, and I can't have that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. After the broadcast, I hop on the tractor, take care of the cows, and return phone calls at night. Okay, so here's what I did. I had this irregular heartbeat.
Okay.
And my medical doctor said, I was really stressed, and I said, hey, you got to be kidding, because I don't even have a job. So what I did was I bought cases of bran cereal, and I ate bran cereal and water for about 45 days.
Uh-huh.
Additionally, I made a tincture with the hottest peppers I could find, fresh peppers. I put them in the blender.
Okay.
I peeled fresh garlic, put that in the blender, and I added vodka to this blended mixture. Filled it in a jar, kind of like a used clean spaghetti sauce jar with a tight lid, up to within maybe 5% volume of the top. Put it in a closet, shook it 2-3 times a day for about 60 days. Then I strained it. Now, I didn't know about the moon. And
that doesn't really matter. It's a slight edge.
I did not do that. And I strained it with a brown coffee filter, one of those natural type, allegedly natural or more natural coffee filters.
Right.
And I strained it a couple times. And I put it into droppers, little 1-ounce bottles with droppers. I put 2, 3, 4 drops under my tongue multiple times per day. And, at first the taste, I didn't like it, but, it was medicine, so I did it. And then I got to the point where I really liked the taste of it, and I was looking for it multiple times per day. My heartbeat straightened right out. I'm not going to say instantly, but I would say within a few weeks, I no longer had an irregular heartbeat, and I was not on any of those pharmaca mafia concoctions and chemicals. So have you heard a story like that? Is that
oh yeah.
Is that the kind of
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You did real good. Yeah, your peppers, the hot pepper, the red pepper increases circulation, opens up the arteries and veins. The rice bran stuff and everything was cleaner, was cleaning out your colon and stuff, get rid of a lot of other junk that would end up in the arteries. And the garlic,
and those
again,
are the two,
blood pressure, lowers blood pressure. You did good. That's a perfect little deal.
That's pretty much all I did. Now, by saying that I just ate bran cereal, what I really mean is no cheese, no sugar, no coffee, no milk, nothing, literally nothing but, I had some psyllium powder. I'd throw that in there too. I'd have psyllium, which would be like Metamucil.
Right.
And water, just purified water. That's it. No other beverages, no soda, no tea, no coffee, no sneaking candy bars, no white bread, just bran cereal and water. And to this day, when people come to our house, if I happen to have cereal, bran cereal, they'll go, no milk? No, just water. I kind of like it that way. And after a while, you think that, why would anybody put milk in cereal? It's kind of odd.
Yeah, really, yucky.
But it really worked for me. So do you really think I did the right thing?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
There you go.
I use red pepper all the time. In any of my blood formulas or arteries and vein formulas or heart formulas, I always add capsicum and sometimes ginger also.
Okay. All right, let's come back and talk about detox. How to do it. We'll be right back.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
A good stove is at the top of the list for any serious survivalist. That's why you have to see the full range at emberlit.com. Simple, elegant, but extraordinarily efficient. Available in titanium or stainless steel, the Emberlit line of stoves are ultralight, pack flat, and work great. Fueled only by sticks and debris. From emergency situations to long-term survival, Emberlit stoves are up to the task. Emberlit, the most convenient, easy-to-carry wood stoves on the planet. See them all at emberlit.com.
What would your life be like if you woke up each morning with new vitality, feeling better than you have in years, and you noticed a difference in your sleeping patterns, blood sugar levels, and had a sense of well-being overall? There's something that is changing thousands of people's lives, and you could be one of them. It's called Heart and Body Extract. Sharon Harris, co-creator of Heart and Body Extract, talks about the positive effects of Heart and Body Extract.
What happens with the formula Heart and Body Extract is it's giving the body the necessary vitamins, minerals, amino acids, enzymes, and phytonutrients so the body will heal itself. And yes, the body does have the ability to balance blood pressure, balance cholesterol, clean and unclog the arteries. It can also work on balancing the circulation for diabetics. So the body is an amazing thing. It simply needs some help so it has the tools to heal itself.
Heart and Body Extract gets results. To order your 2-month supply, call now, toll-free at 866-295-5305. Order online at hbextract.com.
No other network provides the level of customer service we do. When it comes to radio advertising, we are your one-stop shop. And no matter how big or small your business is, we can help. Email us at advertise@gcnlive.com, and an experienced advertising executive will help you take the first step towards driving more customers to your business or website. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
75 years ago, America suffered one of the worst moments in American history, the attack on Pearl Harbor. Now you can remember December 7th, 1941, with the purchase of the first ever 75th anniversary Pearl Harbor legal tender solid gold coin from the U.S. Money Reserve. Call 1-800-490-3200 right now for the official 75th anniversary Pearl Harbor legal tender gold coin from the U.S. Money Reserve, the only company authorized to distribute these 100% solid gold coins. Remember Pearl Harbor with this limited official gold release. 1-800-490-3200 or online at usmoneyreserve.com.
This is Sharon Hunt. Before using Heart and Body Extract, my energy level was very, very low. I could only walk a few feet and then would have to sit down. I was tired and lethargic. But after taking Heart and Body Extract, my energy level has improved greatly, and I can now walk longer distances without getting tired so fast. Thank you, Heart and Body Extract.
Learn the secrets of an effective, natural, 100% organic nutritional supplement for a healthy heart and circulation at hbextract.com.
You haven't experienced yogurt until you've tried a Mossy, embodying health and flavor in a true whole milk, grain-fed dairy beverage. Every sip pays homage to our old world cows and the ancient culturing methods their milk benefits from. With over 30 probiotics, a Mossy's undeniably nutritious, refined, cultured sensation bolsters your health and awakens your passion for dairy. A Mossy's so good, and you need to try it. Contact your Longevity distributor or call 877-878-4203 or go to gcnteam.com.
Ted Anderson telling you about Jordan Rubin's Beyond Organic Green-Fed Raw Cheddar Artesian Cheese featuring whole milk created through ancient dairy breeding, unpasteurized, untreated whole milk on the same farm the cows graze, containing natural sources of omega-3s, CLA protein, calcium, probiotics, and enzymes. I have never tasted cheese this good, and you need to try it. Contact your Longevity distributor or call 877-878-4203 or go to gcnteam.com.
Yes, we're talking about herbal remedies, and this is Herbal Remedies 101, the first in the series, with TomTracey of Swan Valley Herbs. I'm going to give you his phone number, so if you'd like to contact him, you may. He can request a catalog. It's absolutely free. 406-837-5747. 406-837-5747. And TomTracey, at the top of the hour news, there was a piece about lead levels being excessively high in public schools, school buildings in New Jersey. And it's not just New Jersey. It's pretty much everywhere we go. There are toxins all around us. And if we want to detoxify ourselves from what we've experienced, the exposure experience for our lives, during our lives, what do we do?
Okay. There are a number of baths that you can do at home, real inexpensive. One is to remove, soak out radiation, and then people need to know about that one. And the other is to start removing and sweating out chemicals. These baths are all a half hour long. The salt and soda soak is the one I want people to really know about. That's a pound of sea salt and a pound of baking soda to a full bathtub of hot water. And you get in that tub, and you sit in that tub, and you sweat. And before you get into that tub, you have a cup of a sweating herb, a cup of ginger tea, maybe 2 cups of ginger tea, 2 cups maybe of yarrow tea. Right, that red pepper stuff works good too, Vince. And you get in there and you sweat. Usually after 3 or 4 of those soaks, and it's best to do them at night, it pulls that stuff out. Your energy comes up, strengthens your immune response. And that's one of the things you need to do because there's just too much radiation. Okay, and a lot of my clients say, where do I get radiation, Tom? Well, I says, oh, man, these people need some help. I said, you ever hear of Nevada? How about Chernobyl? How about Fukushima? How about your computer? How about your cell phone? How about your microwave? It's endless. Mm-hmm. Okay, radon, too. Now, those are some of the baths, and, they're real simple. The hydrogen peroxide soaks the same. Fill that bathtub with hot water for a 30-minute soak. 16 ounces of over-the-counter 2% hydrogen peroxide. Again, 2 hot cups of yarrow or the sweating herb tea. Get in there for a 30-minute soak. You want to do at least 4 of those. There are other soaks, too.
When you say 4 of those, do you mean over a period of several days or a week?
Right. You only do 1 soak a night.
Okay.
About a week or so you'll have it done, and maybe every other day or so. If you're real old and real sick, you may want to do one every other day.
Okay, I'm thinking about the cost of this, and if I remember correctly, hydrogen peroxide that you can get if you buy it at the Chinese factory outlet, which some people might refer to as Walmart, it's less than $1, right?
Right, right. Now, I run all my clients through these soaks. Now, the other things that are really important, and I find a lot of in people that they need to be dealing with and on a yearly basis, and that's a parasite cleanse. Most people don't do this. Everyone should be wormed at least once a year, every spring. I remember when Grandma lined all his kids up when it was just little shits. Oh, no, Grandma, not that. Oh, boy. Parasites. The herbs that you want to work with for parasites, there's a whole list of them. But the safest one is black walnut extract, tincture. That kills almost everything, except maybe worms and tapeworms. The other herb is wormwood, Artemisia absinthium. Nasty tasting stuff there, Vince. When I'm teaching it in the field, it smells good, and it smells like, oh, boy, this is good. And I said, now it's time to taste it. Well, it's extremely bitter and nasty. They'll never, ever, ever forget what wormwood's used for and what it is and what it looks like. You can combine that with the black walnut and the wormwood, and maybe some bracken fern root, which is a fern. Most of your fern roots and stuff are good for removing parasitic worms, roundworms, pinworms. That's a nice little combination. Usually takes anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks to get rid of them.
when you talk about black walnuts, here on the farm, we have so many black walnut trees.
Oh, you're dialed in good.
So okay, how do we make a product that we can use with these black walnuts?
Okay, what you want out of the black walnut is the hulls. The green hulls, Vincent. You get the green hulls. You strip them off the walnut, the green hulls, fresh. Chop them up, throw them in, and make a strong tincture out of it. That's the best you can get. It's high in iodine and other compounds that parasites can't stand.
Now, let me see if I've got this right. So I take the hulls. Now, do I chop them up green, or do I let them oxidize in the air and turn black?
I chop them up green.
Green.
You can dry them and they'll oxidize black, and you can use them that way too, but they're not quite as effective, but it will work. The green hulls are the most potent you can get.
Okay, so do I wash them, and do I wash the...
Just wash them, and then cut them. You might want to put the gloves on, because you know what happens when you play with black walnut hulls.
You know, I've got
your hands turn brown, and they stay that way for a couple weeks. That's because of the iodine.
Yeah, I've got to tell you that there are so many black walnuts, on our farm that I think we could probably get easily several pickup truck loads of black walnuts per year.
Oh, yeah.
Literally.
So, you don't grow wild here in Montana, but you'll find you'll find one every once in a while where years ago someone planted one, and I got a few or 4 or 5 of them laid around here that I'll go raid when I need them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and now please repeat one more time what the black walnut tincture will do for us, and how do we consume it, and what will it do?
Okay, you make a strong tincture like you did before.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay, now you're going to take anywhere from 30 to 60 drops 3 to 4 times a day in a little water. Daily.
30 to 60 drops 3 times a day. Okay.
Yeah. Simple, very simple stuff. Painless, simple. And then you'd be surprised sometimes, if you're keeping an eyeball what's going on in the toilet, you might see some squirmy shit when there. A worm. I've had clients come in and say, Tom, I'm scared. There's a foot-long worm in the toilet. I said, well, better out than in, right, honey?
What about for our animals? What about for our animals?
Same thing. We worm our dogs and cats with black walnut. It's safe.
Okay, so, all right. When you worm them, do you just chop up the hulls and then add it to their food, or do you give them a tincture? Or what's the
usually just gets powder and just put a little powder in their food.
Okay, so does that mean you dry the walnut hulls? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So let's go through that process. So I've got these green walnut hulls that are the size of large ping pong balls.
Right.
Okay. What do? I'm picking them off the tree just as they're falling on the ground, right?
Correct.
Just as they're ready to drop. Okay. So
what
I pick them off the tree.
Get a knife, you strip them, and put them in a dehydrator until they're dry.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay, and then how much do we give our dogs, for example? Let's say we have a 50-pound dog.
It'll be probably about a quarter of a teaspoon of black walnut, maybe a half a teaspoon with the food. If you feed them twice a day, then the dose would be twice a day. Black walnut's safe for animals and people. Wormwood, on the other hand, is a little rough on animals and people, but wormwood will kill a cat.
Okay. So we don't use wormwood on our cats, but we can use black walnuts.
Sure. That's what we use.
Okay. Now, when do you grind up the walnut hulls? Okay, and you use all of it except for the nut itself. All of the hull is used?
Correct.
Okay. And when you grind it, is that just in like a flour grinder, or what type of grinder?
Just cut it up as best you can while it's green, dry it, and it'll shrink up. And Then you can pound it, in a pedestal and mortar. You might even have a little grinding operation.
That's something that I find fascinating, because if a person has an old-fashioned porcelain mortar and pestle that like a pharmacy would have used, let's say maybe in the 1940s, 50s, 60s, and maybe before, that might be considered drug paraphernalia in today's world, right? Not to me, but I'm talking about.
Who gives a crap whether they like it or not?
I don't. I just, we're farmers here, and I've got syringes here that we use for the cows, and if somebody comes in from the big city and they see these syringes, they probably think we're a bunch of druggies, but it's not for us.
Yeah, sure.
It's not for us. It's for the cows, and we have all kinds of we have antibiotics for the cows and so forth, in the refrigerator, but. We're farmers, and we're not unique. This is what farmers do. We raise animals. And we've talked about detoxifying. What herbs should we have on hand?
Okay, here we go. I would say it'd be best if you can have on hand at least 20, maybe 10, 12. A little more, that'd be better. Depends on how much you know and all that. But let's start with dandelion root.
That's easy, right? They're growing in the front yard. People are spraying their yards to get rid of them.
You want the root? The root's medicinal. And you can make fresh or dried tinctures. The leaves are edible.
Yeah.
Now,
my mom puts
seeds.
Okay, hang on 1 second. We're going into a break. My mom makes salad with dandelion leaves.
Correct.
Okay, she washes them, and they've got lots of iron in them, don't they?
Correct.
And you can even make wine. You can make wine with dandelions.
Yeah, the flower.
Yeah, okay. Yep, we'll be right back. We're talking about Herbal Remedies 101. And I know that we're going to run out of time. We're going to do this again and again. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
Hi, my name is Nick Lupo. One World Whey has been by far the best protein that I've ever had. I take it 3 times a day. Once in the morning as soon as I wake, once for a pre-workout snack, and once for a post-workout recovery drink. It has helped me transform and sculpt my body into what I have now. I began taking the product about 2 years ago, and boy, let me tell you, I'm in the best shape of my life. I've seen major muscle mass gains and have 0% body fat. I have had people at my gym ask if I compete in bodybuilding because of how lean and muscular I am. I used to suffer from everyday aches and pains from hard manual labor my whole life, and arthritis that runs through my family. But One World Whey has helped me take that everyday pain from a 10 to a 3. Some days I feel no pain at all, just full of life and energy. It has also helped my skin look younger and healthier. Thank you, Synergistic Nutrition, for One World Whey.
Call 888-988-3325 or visit oneworldwhey.com. That's oneworldwhey.com.
Something shocking just happened in a Coast Guard unit in San Diego. The old guys in the unit have turned the tables and are now destroying the young bucks in head-to-head fitness tests. How is this even possible? Turns out the old guys in this unit have been part of a special test group for a doctor-formulated fountain of youth drink called Patriot Power Greens. Patriot Power Greens has been so effective for many of the older soldiers that it's made their achy joints, stiff muscles, and lack of energy a thing of the past. Previously, this drink was only available to elite military units. But for a limited time, the creator of Patriot Power Greens has set aside a small number of free sample packs specifically for our conservative friends. But you must act fast. Due to the high demand from members of the Coast Guard, our supply is extremely limited right now. To claim your free samples of Patriot Power Greens, go to greens75.com. That's greens75.com. greens75.com.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia?
It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market. The gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
Remember Pearl Harbor. Now you can buy, for the first time ever, the 75th anniversary Pearl Harbor legal tender solid gold coin from the U.S. Money Reserve. Call 1-800-329-6700 right now or go online to usmoneyreserve.com. 1-800-329-6700.
Class, Tom Tracy's with us, Swan Valley Herbs, and I'm going to give you his phone number, 406-837-5747. 406-837-5747. That's the office number. And if you go to usaprepares.com, page number 1, there's a post with his contact information. And if you're traveling and you need to find Tom's number, you can go to usaprepares.com on the instructors tab. You'll find him in the health and medicine section of the instructors tab. And there's the information for you to find at your leisure. So, Tom, we were talking, we only got a couple minutes left. What
I got
herbs
something I really want you to know.
Yes.
For your people, it has to do with upper respiratory viral infections, and this is one thing you should have at home. There's a combination, and at least 2 or 3 of these herbs are big-time antivirals, save your life, influenza, all that stuff. The herbs are, one's called desert parsley root or lomatium root. It's in our catalog. The other is osha root, again, antiviral. Usnea lichen, antiviral, antibacterial. Cedar leaf, immune stimulant, antifungal. And yarrow to make you sweat, open the pores so you can shed out the poison. This is what I give my clients when they're coming in, coughing their lungs out. Okay? And I run them through the baths, and this will say it works miracles, Vince. It works miracles.
As we go down the path toward collapse, there are a lot of us who are worried about what will we do when we can't get medicine. And that's what this broadcast is.
To know about this particular formula and those herbs. It will save your life. During the 1918, 1917 Spanish flu, those that took homeopathics and did allopathic medicine died. Those that did lomatium root and osha root lived.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, millions died, right?
Millions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so in your catalog, that's absolutely free. Does it delineate what herbs are for what purposes?
Oh, let me look. It's a real thin catalog, Vince. Let me look here what it is here. I'll look myself. Oh, I got my book in that too on the front page. If you're interested in books.
Yeah, we certainly are. And,
it's the Forest Pharmacy. It's about all the natural herbs that grow in the mountains here. There's over 211 of them in the book, and it's a 2-page per herb and lots of color photographs and big print so you can read it.
Okay. And how do we get the book?
Call in.
Okay.
We print on demand. You can't get it anywhere else, only through my store.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we have the list of all the herbs. Or a lot of them. There's a health history, how to do a hair analysis. Oh, here we have super arnica salve. That's really good. Comfrey salve. That's really good for the skin. Montana Rescue for stress. Flower essence combination of 12 different flowers. I've got the parasite program here. Oh, here it is. Limation compound virus program. Contains limation root, osha root, cedar leaf, yarrow, and usnea.
Mm-hmm. Okay, is this a tincture?
Yes, it is. A combination. Powerful stuff. I have to go dig the root myself, all of this, and I go through gallons of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Gallons, and I'm going through it right now. Got another couple of months of this stuff going on. Just remember that.
TomTracey, I really enjoyed this broadcast, learning about tinctures, how we can make them. And class, if you'd like to get a copy of the catalog, 406-837-5747. And if you're interested in the book, I have not seen the book. So if you're interested,
catalog, got a picture of it.
There you go.
Hot item here.
TomTracey, thank you. Thank you so much for being with us. And let's do Herbal Remedies 102 soon. We'll do it soon, and we'll schedule that. And class, we need to learn more about taking care of our bodies without medicine.
Well, thank you for having me on, Vince.
You're welcome.
If you ever want to do it again, let me know. With this field,
we how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food. Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy, or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Hi, Pat Matthews again. I want to talk to you about selling online. And when I say selling, I'm talking about your home, your car, and even buying a house or a new set of wheels. There's a new kid in town, and that's buysellmakeoffer.com. The revolution has already begun, and I invite you to be a part of it. You see, get in on the ground floor because buysellmakeoffer.com never charges item fees. Can you imagine what the other guys might charge you for selling a car on their site, let alone a house? Well, buysellmakeoffer.com doesn't do that. And you can use Skype and YouTube videos to sell your products, big or small. Go right now to buysellmakeoffer.com and set up your account. For as little as $7.95 per month, you can sell up to 50 items, and they'll give you the first 30 days free just to try it out. Remember, no per item fees. Join the revolution today. buysellmakeoffer.com and tell them Pat Matthews